Okay, YouTube land, I'm going to give you a little education on parts and how to find out some info on parts and don't be so silly. This is brought up by here recently a used car dealer who I think is too out there for me to deal with. Some of those guys are just too flaky, and if you live in Ohio and you see some of the used car dealers around here, especially the ones that deal in stuff that's 12 to 20 years old, you'll understand perfectly. Not all, just some of these guys, they are real flaky characters. Like I said, not all. Anyways, I got a aftermarket part sales company's catalog. They have places around the country, stores around the country. This one, their nearest store to me is an hour or something away in Cincinnati, and I've bought parts from them. I did Nissan, was that? It was a Sentra. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Sentra, it was an Altima. My brother used to have a Sentra. It was a 2006 Altima, and their new parts prices, just without any discount, were cheaper on things like the core support, the hood, the bumper cover, than ones that needed an hour plus work from junkyards. There was a hood that they wanted 150 for, and it needed 2 hours work. Well, that's silly on a hood. Although aftermarket parts don't always fit right, and you don't want to know I had to do that hood to make it fit. I don't even want to say that on video because I was embarrassed, but I did something and I brought it back into spec. Anyway, so this is Caravan here, and I'm looking at the 0107 because I've been selling some 0107 parts, and I had messed up. I made a, hold on a second, piece of breakfast must have been stuck in my teeth, all of a sudden come out. I was talking. I had an ad up that stated I had all the lights for 0107, or all the tail lamps, for 0107. What I have is I have a bunch of 2001 to 2003 lamps, both left and right, but I only have right hand in 04 to 07. Now, here's the thing that'll trip you up with those things. Exterior, they look identical. The difference on them is the 01 to 03s use 3 bulbs. The 04 to 07s use 2 bulbs. Now, the wiring connector externally is the same. The connector is pinned differently for the different taillights, and the body harness has different wires going to it, because the used taillights that I acquired from my buddy, where he takes parts like that off for himself. If he's scrapping a vehicle out and he's pulling taillights out to save them, quite often he'll take the wire cutters, he'll pull off a couple inches of wire with them and clip them off, because you get vehicles that are crashed and the wire connector's broken and you gotta splice them in. So he does stuff like that, which is perfectly fine. Close that catalog there. I know you don't got too much to look at. I'm not allowed to have my utility trailer here due to some socialist order because somebody's telling lies about me. I'll get into that in another video. Anyways, look at this nice picnic table I acquired the other day. Anywho, what was I saying? Yeah, about the taillights. So I had made the mistake. I put in an ad that I had all, both side taillights that fit the 04 to 07. And this guy come and I grabbed the 01 to 03 taillights, and I had rights and lefts. So we went back to my storage locker, looked for the box, found it, Nope, I only had right hand side in 04 to 07, no lefts. I had 2 rights but no lefts, and that's a bit of a kicker. Anyways, this used car dealer, he came and he bought a 2002 2006 Avalanche or 2003 to 2006 Silverado. And the tricky part is you can have an 07 that is the 06 body style, and they called it a classic or a carryover. But anyways, one of those grills, and I'd sold the emblem off it for $40. The grill was cracked on the chrome bar that goes between the lights on both upper and lower on the left side. So he got the thing for me for $27 after I sold the emblem for $40. I paid $20 for the grill to begin with. So I bought 2 of them, and I sold the other one for $65. I spent $40 and made $92 pure profit. Anyway, so he's here, and he's a used car dealer, and he's like, well, this is a much better one than one I got in the truck. And he's just looking for parts, and they'll do stuff like this taillight in this Explorer here, which I need to replace. Somebody dropped my replacement ones that I had from a salvage yard and broke them. But my taillights keep getting hit in parking lots, and this one has a small crack, and people have hit it again, and this one here is now loose. And you see the white paint there? It was in a parking lot with the trailer on there. You can even see the scratches where they drug something down the body side. I keep getting my taillights hit in parking lots. People are hitting them with their mirrors. They don't know how to drive around here. Long story. But anyways, used car dealers will put taillights in like this. They will put taillights in like that, even holding water like that one is. It's doing that now because it's cracked and the weed holes are blocked with debris. They will sell stuff like that. They will sell vehicles like that. And this guy, I told him, I'm a Chevy and Ford guy. And I have a buddy that does Dodges, and so, you know, Dodge front-wheel drive. So I never learned a lot of the Dodge front-wheel drives because I had a buddy that would do those jobs for me, and I could just make a little bit of money on the side. You know, it's like send him the job, make me a commission, not have to touch it. He had all the special tools for him. Anytime you start messing with this stuff, you get into the stuff that requires special tools. And Chevy stuff, I've got special tools to do certain things on Chevys, and I should say all GMs, and I've got special tools for some Fords. The ones that I've worked on the most, you know, I acquired tools that did specific jobs or would work on one specific vehicle and engine. If you do light duty diesels, you need special tools that the guy working on heavy duty diesels does not have, unless he also works on light duty diesels. That's just the nature of the game. You know, it might be different if you're working on a Cummins in a light duty application, because it might be the same special tools in the heavy duty. But let's say, you know, you're working on a computer controlled Ford Powerstroke diesel from like 99 to wherever they went to the 6.0. So, you know, so you're working on the 7.3 Powerstroke. I think it's, the change is like 2003 or 2004. You're working on that engine. You probably need a few special tools that are different from the 6.0, that are different from the later 6.4 or 6.7. And I might have that wrong on the 6.4 displacement. But you know, they went international, then International and Ford had fallen out, and Ford went to their own Ford made diesel light duty block. So you know, there's special tools that you need for those that aren't the same as you need for a Duramax. You know, and they're not the same as the special tools that you used on a 6.2 liter diesel or a 6.5 liter diesel, or the the Oldsmobile 4.3 liter front wheel drive diesel that was also, there were some that were used in rear drive in the 4.3 liter V6 diesel. And the Oldsmobile 350 diesel is different because it's a gasoline engine that was converted over, whereas the other ones were all diesel engines from the design on the sheet of paper. Yeah, so this guy, he wants me to work on Mercedes-Benz, and I'm like, well, why don't you look at the videos? He's like, well, I looked at videos online, it shouldn't be that hard, You just need a tool to do this. He's like, I don't think you need a special tool. I'm like, okay. Well, he tells me it's a 95 E320 4MATIC. I'm like, so it's all-wheel drive. Okay. I just looked up how to do the video on the E320. Well, then he also wanted me to find the part. He's like, well, may need to see if this can be found for cheap on eBay. I'm like, okay. So actually I called up the local parts store, and well, for a 95 E320 my price is $17. I told him $19 because there's tax involved, and they're used car dealers, and yeah, you're supposed to charge tax to yourself if you're buying a part to fix a car you're going to sell. You're supposed to not charge tax, or not pay tax, if you're purchasing parts for cars you're repairing for customers, because then you charge sales tax on the entire job and the state gets their tax that way. But if you're buying parts to repair a car that you're going to sell, you're supposed to pay the tax on the part when you purchase it. And some people will disagree with me. Some people will say I'm 100% wrong. Some people will say it's a gray area. That's my understanding of the sales tax laws here in the state. But anyways, call this guy back, and no, it's a 2005. I'd asked him before to take a picture of the VIN and send it to me, so I had the engine code and the year exactly right in the model. Because you give me the full VIN number and I can look it all up and see. That's a US Route 40, not to be confused with Interstate 40. This is the old US Highway 40, also called National Road. So we get some traffic on it at times. Anywho, this guy is out of his head. Yeah, I told him from the videos I've seen, it still looks like a job that would take about half hour to 45 minutes. And I told him, you know, if he took care of the transport down to his lot. Oh man, you see that squirrel hanging out on my tire? That's a big one. That, yeah, he came here, took care of my transport, so I didn't have to drive him, slip tools all around and everything. That I charge him $20 because I'm not wasting my fuel to go work on stuff for a car dealer and then not get paid. I've dealt with some of these characters before, and it's still thinking it's $20 labor, even though it's there's 4 lines on the filter. There's lines for a fuel pressure regulator in back, and fuel from the tank then to the pump. Or it's from the pump then through the filter. I'm not sure. I've never actually been under one of those Mercedes-Benzes, and I just watched a few videos. You can watch the videos on YouTube and figure out the way it's supposed to be. I was just looking just to see the amount of labor involved. It looked like 4 nuts to remove the access cover off the filter and the fuel pump, and then 4 lines to deal with. So, like I said, I was about, you know, at a decent labor rate where I'd make something, about $20, you know, for the wrenching time. Well, the filter, a lot of places don't listen to the catalog, and that's something else too. I went to the big online retailer, which I have no affiliation with other than I've bought stuff from them before, rockauto.com. And pretty much most things that Rock Auto sells, where it's not their special wholesale inventory or closeout inventory, most of their regular stocked items, the parts store I deals with one of their main supplier companies, so they can order anything that's in, most things that are in the Rock Auto catalog. So I looked, and I got a Wix filter number from Rock Auto. Called that parts store back with that number from Rock Auto. They were able to pull it up in their system, find out that they could order it for me. The warehouse either in Dayton or the warehouse in Columbus had it. Either one, I don't remember which, but it's going to be $42 plus tax. I sent that to a used car dealer, and he don't want to talk to me now. Yeah, I'm not going to bust my hump and order something off eBay or something and try to save $5 and wait 3 weeks to do a fuel filter job. It's either, we can have a filter here tomorrow and I can do it this week, or I'm not interested in scheduling to do a fuel filter job 3 weeks from now when the wrong part comes in because you don't know what you're doing and you buy the wrong part. I don't play those games. If you want me to fix something for your, working on cars for you or for your business, you need to have the parts on hand or be able to lay hands on within a reasonable amount of time. That is what it would take, a store to order it. Or before you ask me to do the repair and you know what the part you need, the service you need done, order the parts online and get them yourself. Because I'm not going to order it off my account, get stuck for paying for it, and then end up not doing the job and having a part that I don't need. And I don't work on Mercedes-Benz. I don't have the tools to do them. So the chances are of me needing that fuel filter for anything else ever again are between 0 and none. So absolutely no need for it. Because quite often, if anybody ever asks me to work on Mercedes-Benz, I just say no. I don't do them. Don't know enough about them. Don't care to. I'll do, other than Chevy or Ford, certain services. It's like, I'll do brakes on most American cars. I don't have the special tools for some of the imports. I'll do brakes on something if I don't have to buy a special tool. I'll do it at a good price. But if I have to buy special tools, I'm really not interested in doing it unless I know that I can do 100 of those jobs. Years ago, I had a customer that had a 92 Buick Regal, and she insisted I do struts on it. Well, AutoZone had ended their Loan-A-Tool program on the GM W-Car strut cartridge removal tool. A lot of the guys I knew were no longer seeing those cars. They sold their strut removal tools off to pawn shops, or traded them in at pawn shops for sets of tools that they could actually use to make money with. Because that's what mechanics do when you stop seeing stuff all the time. And it was just, the car was so old, and people were just not changing the strut cartridges very much. They were cheap. I mean, they were like $50 a piece, brand new strut cartridges, good ones. And it was an easy service, but I had to buy $100 in tools. And I only got, the labor on it was like an hour aside. It didn't even take me that long. You only had to take the hood off. The book says you do, but I didn't on her Buick Regal. It was a little bit close, but everything came out and went back in easy as could be. But I spent more on the tools that I never used for another car ever again than I ever made doing that job. I would have had to do 5 or 6 of those, to make that tool cost really worth it. I should have just refused the job altogether. She was a friend of my mom's. She cried to my mom. Tears actually came out of her eyes. He won't fix my car. And I got forced into doing it. You know, these days I won't do that. Not going to buy, you know, $100 tool to do a $30 service for somebody and never use it again. That's just silly. And you know, I don't like working on cars for a whole bunch of people anymore. Liabilities aside, certain things I just don't enjoy doing anymore. And I don't enjoy, you know, working in certain conditions. And yeah, I don't mind, like the used car dealer, he's like, well, this has to be either on a car trailer or on a flatbed wrecker, which that's true. You know, all-wheel drive Mercedes-Benz, you either have to do that or you have to pull all the drive shafts out. Well, who wants to do that? All right, maybe not all, maybe just the rear drive shaft, but why do that? On a car like that, in that sort of case, yeah, I'll go to the car lot where the car is sitting and change the fuel filter. But normally, I have cars brought to me. I don't go to cars unless they have a facility there to work on them. But in this case, this is the car sitting out, you know, on a lot. But that I don't mind so much. Not so much. Okay, I'm going to get off here. Maybe you've learned something, maybe not. Hopefully you learn how to figure out how to get your car parts. Learn what to cross-reference, how to find out what your vehicle needs. If you ever have any doubt, call a parts store that can use your VIN number or your license plate number to find out exactly what parts your car takes. And there are catalogs that have, if your vehicle has current registration, they put in the license plate number. It pulls up the complete VIN number of the vehicle. Tells them what engine, what transmission, what rear end ratio your vehicle has. You know, all those details. And then there's never, ever, ever any crying or excuse that you bought 4 radiator caps and all of them were the wrong one because your Volkswagen has a Dodge motor, when those Volkswagen vans were all made by Dodge and they all have Dodge motors and Dodge transmissions, and they're made by Dodge for Volkswagen, and the only thing that's Volkswagen on them is the trim and the interior stuff. Everything mechanical is Chrysler, so there's no excuse. I mean, different years had a couple different engine options, but they all use the same radiator cap. There's no reason to get on the internet and cry. If you can't find your parts, find me. My name on YouTube is Dude Rare because somehow I ended up with 2 channels while I made a video about fixing a Saturn a couple years ago. But my email address is rarepartshunter@gmail.com. And if you cannot find parts, get a hold of me. I can tell you how to find them. I get people that email me off eBay all the time at my eBay account, wanting me to help them find a part because GM dealerships don't seem to care anymore. And they tell me what they need specifically. Like a guy has a 94 Blazer, you know, old body style Blazer, and he's over in Europe, and it's a US spec vehicle originally sold in Texas. Well, they had rear ABS sensors that are in each wheel. That was an option, or they had one that was in the differential with the tone ring. I think it's on the pinion shaft inside the differential. Don't hold me to that, I could be wrong, but there's also a option, because I remember this from the Hollander Salvage interchange books, that there was a 4 sensor versus a 3 sensor. The 3 sensor only has 1 rear sensor, the 4 sensor has them at the wheels. This guy had it at the wheels. None of the parts stores could look it up what he needed. He actually sent me his VIN number. I put his VIN number into acdelco.com's website. Again, not affiliated with them, but I use that. And it showed me a part number for the left sensor. I think the right sensor's out of production. But still, I was able to take that part number and cross-reference it over to an aftermarket sensor that is still made. It's like, yeah, if you're in that kind of difficult situation, I'll spend 15 minutes to help you find a part for your car, because chances are you'll come back and buy something from me. Later, YouTube.